Okay, let's do a quick thought experiment. When I say the phrase serious game, what pops into your head?
For most people, I'd bet it's something on a computer.
Right, a compliance training module. Or if you're a gamer, you probably think of America's Army, that shooter from 2002.
The standard origin story, yeah,
Yeah.
2002. The year we supposedly figured out that games could be more than just, entertainment.
Exactly. And we love to pat ourselves on the back for it, this idea of gamification as some cutting-edge human invention. But the research we're looking at today suggests we are way late to the party.
Oh, way late. We're diving into a fascinating paper by Quentin Alvarez called Serious Game, Human or Animal Invention. And, well, the argument here strips away all the technology. It looks straight at biology.
And it's a bit of a blow to the old human ego. The mission for this deep dive is to ask, did we invent playing with a purpose, or are we just copying a survival strategy that rats and monkeys perfected millions of years ago?
To even start answering that, we have to get our terms straight. Alvarez makes a really critical distinction between the serious game and serious play.
And this is key, right? The serious game is the object, the artifact.
The chessboard, the flight simulator, the app. Humans are masters of the artifact. No question, we make amazing tools.
But serious play, that's the activity itself.
That's the software running in the brain, not the hardware in your hand. And when you look at the activity, the timeline gets pushed back a lot further than 2002.
I mean, even if you just stick with human history, that 2002 date is kind of silly. You've got things like Kriegspiel.
1773, yeah. The Prussian War Games.
A super complex simulation with figurines to train officers. And you can go back way further. Chess, Go. They're basically abstract battlefield simulators.
And some paleontologists might even argue that prehistoric dice had, educational purposes. But Alvarez's point is that if we want to find the real beginning of serious play, we need to stop digging. We need to stop being archaeologists and start being ethologists. We have to look at animals.
Because if a rat is doing it and doing it without a human teaching it, then we can't really claim we invented it.
Precisely. Which brings us to Claude Bench, who's really the star of the biological side of this paper. He studied play in rats, monkeys, birds, and he started with a really basic evolutionary problem.
Which is that play makes no sense.
From a purely survivalist perspective, it's total disaster.
Right.
Think about it. Energy is everything in the wild. Play burns calories you should be using to find food. But it's not just costly, it's dangerous.
Super dangerous. When two young animals are wrestling, they're distracted, they're making noise.
Exactly. They aren't scanning for hawks or foxes. A playing animal is an easy lunch.
So the logic is, if this thing has survived millions of years of evolution, it must have a massive upside.
It has to serve a vital utilitarian function that outweighs the risk of, being eaten. It's not just for fun.
So it's inherently serious.
And Bench calls this the circuit of play. He says it's a hardwired biological drive, like hunger. And he proved it with these isolation experiments on rats.
This is the rebound effect.
Yeah. So you take a young rat and you prevent it from playing for a while. You isolate it. Then, when you put it back with the group, it goes nuts.
It binge plays.
It binge plays. It plays way more than the control group. It has this hunger for play that it has to satisfy. It's like the brain is regulating it.
And they could even manipulate this chemically.
That's how we know it's a physical circuit in the brain. Things like opium or naloxone, which affect reward centers, could actually stimulate or shut down the desire to play. And it's hormonal, too.
Oh, right. The male rats prefer play fighting.
And that tracks directly with testosterone.
Yeah.
Block the testosterone, and the play fighting just plummets.
Okay, so play is a biological imperative, a circuit. But what is the circuit for? What is it doing?
And this is where Alvarez lays out what he calls the comparative matrix, which I think is just the most brilliant part of the paper. He puts the stages of human child development, from Jean Piaget, right next to Bench's stages of animal development.
And it's basically the same roadmap.
It's spooky how well they line up. Let's walk through it. Stage 1 is eopadia, the early stage. For humans, that's birth to 2 years old.
The sensorimotor stage. This is solo play, right? The baby kicking its legs, looking at a mobile.
Exactly. The baby isn't playing with you yet. And in animals, you see the same thing. The pup is just doing solo movements. And we might look at that and think, oh, how cute. But what's happening is neuronogenes.
Brain building.
Literally wiring the brain, building the neural architecture. Bench calls play at this stage a stimulant and fuel. All that sensory input is the data the brain needs to build a map of the body and the world,
So for a baby, human, or rat, playing is surviving. It's construction.
which is the definition of serious play. Then we get to stage 2,
The terrible twos.
mesopodia, the social shift. In humans, that's maybe 2 to 4 years old. We start to see symbolic games.
I'm the mommy. The stick is a sword.
Right. And in animals, this is when social play just explodes. The focus shifts from me to you, and we see this same as play fight.
Which looks like real fighting, but it's not.
It's a highly sophisticated simulation. And 2 things are key here: restraint and role reversal.
The restraint part is fascinating. They're practicing violence without doing violence?
Their actions are incomplete, as Bench puts it. They mimic a bite but don't clamp down. But the role reversal is the real mind bender for social learning.
This is where the big, tough animal lets the little one win.
Yes, a huge alpha rat will let a tiny juvenile pin him. In a real fight, it would be over in a second. But in play, he submits.
Why? What's in it for him?
He's teaching the social code. They're learning the rules of the hierarchy in a safe sandbox. If the big guy always just crushed the little guy, the game would stop. The learning would stop. By reversing roles, they build trust.
So it's a simulation of conflict designed to prevent real conflict later.
You got it. And then we hit the final stage, neopadia.
The mature stage. For kids, this is like age 5 and up. Rule-based games. Tag, soccer, whatever.
And for animals, it's adult play. The function shifts again. It's not just about building a brain anymore. Now it's about homeostasis.
Stress relief.
Stress relief and keeping the group together.
Okay, this is an incredible framework, but I want to push back a bit. We know they play. We know it helps them develop. But is it a serious game? Is an animal ever using play as a specific strategy to achieve a goal?
That is the perfect question. Is it just practice or is it a tool? And to answer that, Alvarez gives us the case study of the dominated rat.
My favorite part of the paper, the play attack.
It's pure strategy. So you have a strict hierarchy in a rat colony. You've got your dominant rats and your subordinate rats.
The bosses and the interns.
Pretty much. And Bench saw that a low-ranking rat will often go up to a boss rat and initiate a play attack.
Which seems like a terrible idea.
It seems suicidal.
Yeah.
But the subordinate rat has a plan. It initiates the fight, and then it immediately and intentionally loses. It just rolls over.
Takes a dive. It's a setup.
The transaction. The paper calls it a collaboration utilitarian. A utilitarian collaboration.
So what's the transaction? What's it buying?
Social acceptance. By playing the game and letting the boss win, the subordinate rat is basically paying a tax to stay in the group. And being in the group means access to food, warmth, and protection.
Wow, so the game is a bribe. I'll let you feel tough so you let me survive.
And the dominant rat plays along because he gets to practice his moves and reaffirm his status without a real risky fight. It's a win-win simulation. The game is their currency.
The level of intent there is just, it's staggering. But there's another example that's maybe even more profound. The macaques.
Ah, the sweet potato washers of Koshima Island, a classic study from the 50s.
That's a scene for us.
So researchers are studying these wild monkeys, and they're leaving sweet potatoes on the beach to lure them out. But the potatoes get covered in sand.
And nobody wants a sandy potato.
Gritty, bad for your teeth. So one day, this brilliant young female monkey named Emo figures out that if she takes her potato to the water, she can wash the sand off.
An innovator.
A true genius. But the amazing part isn't the invention. It's how the invention spread. They didn't hold a meeting. The idea was transmitted through playgroups.
The kids taught each other.
Exactly. The young monkeys were already playing in the surf. Emo brought her clean potato to the game. Her friends saw it. They copied it, and it became part of their play culture.
So play was the classroom.
Play was the medium for technological transfer. Without that social play structure, Emo's brilliant idea might have died with her. Instead, it became troop-wide knowledge. It was a serious game workshop in the ocean.
That's incredible. It just completely reframes what we think of as education. So if animals are doing all this, what's left for us? What makes human play special?
This is the final crucial distinction the paper makes. It's the difference between instinct and instrumentalization.
Okay.
Most animal play is instinctive serious play. A mother rat licks her pup to stimulate it because her genes are screaming at her to do it. It's a biological program.
But humans, we take that program and we hijack it.
We instrumentalize it. We take that raw biological drive and we consciously build systems around it to achieve a goal we've decided on. We build a school. We build a flight simulator. We're conscious designers.
But that line feels a little blurry. That rat losing on purpose, that feels pretty instrumental.
It absolutely borders on it,
Mm-hmm.
which leads to the really deep question about consciousness. Alvarez quotes the philosopher Jacques Henriot, who said, "A game you aren't aware of isn't a game."
Whoa. So if you don't know you're playing, are you?
Exactly. Does a newborn baby know it's playing to build its brain? Of course not. It's pure instinct. But does that adult rat know it's playing a game to get ahead?
Bench seems to think so.
He thinks probably yes,
Yeah.
because they use play markers,
Yeah.
little signals, a hop or a posture, that basically say, hey, what comes next is fake. This is a game.
A safe word for play.
Kind of, yeah. And if you have a signal that means this is a game, you must have some concept of what a game is.
Okay, so let's wrap this all up. We started this deep dive thinking serious games were invented in 2002.
And we've ended up concluding that serious play, the activity, is an interspecies thing that's millions of years old. Rats were doing it 6 or 8 million years ago. We've only been around for a couple 100,000.
So we didn't invent the concept. We just got really, really good at making the toys for it.
It completely changes how you think about a buzzword like gamification, doesn't it?
Totally. You hear that and you think it's some cheap corporate trick.
Let's add points to make sales calls more fun. But this research suggests it's not a trick at all. It's a return to our biological roots. We are hardwired to learn and solve problems through play.
So when we gamify something, we're not adding a manipulative layer. We're tapping into that ancient circuit.
The circuit that builds brains and teaches monkeys how to wash potatoes.
Which leaves me with one last thought. If play is this fundamental biological need for learning, if it's how nature designed us, then what are we doing in our modern education system or our workplaces? We spend so much energy trying to remove play. We tell kids, sit still, stop fooling around. We separate play from learning as if they're opposites.
It's a total paradox. We want results, so we strip out the very process that's best at delivering them.
But if the rat's brain doesn't develop right without play, and the monkey's innovation doesn't spread, are we actively working against our own biology by taking play out of our serious lives?
That is the question, isn't it? Maybe we've become so focused on the serious part that we've forgotten that the game is the most effective engine for learning we've ever had. Nature spent millions of years perfecting it. Maybe we should stop trying to engineer it away.
Turns out there's nothing more serious than play.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
That's all the time we have for this deep dive. We hope you'll look at your next family game night a little differently now. Thanks for listening.
Until next time.